I say them. I ain't playing by my money. Bang bang. Pull up on your block. Bang bang. No diamonds in my watch. This a plain Jane. If you keep punching the clock, you get the same thing. I got a bent without a top. That nasty. My chain got 100 rocks. That flashy.
All right, folks, welcome to the 5th episode of Live from the Black House. Before we get started, very interesting guests. We got two very interesting guests and one person who you know already. But to my right, your left is Mr. 718 himself.
That's right.
Isiah Martin, congressional candidate, raised $718,000 in the third quarter of his campaign. How does it feel?
It feels great.
Absolutely. So you raised a whole lot of money. You got a whole lot of energy behind you. This is going to be a very competitive race. But tell the folks a little bit about yourself and like what made you run for Congress. That is a huge thing to do.
You know, it's been a crazy whirlwind. I'll say that. I mean, to say that, you know, we were able to have 35,000 contributions.
35,000.
I mean, it's really something that's breathtaking. $19 average is what powered this campaign. And I think one of the other things that's really interesting about it, we didn't have a single fundraiser to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a single fundraiser. We didn't have a single max out. And I think what's
not a single fundraiser. Wait, for those of you that are not in politics, that was some bars right there. Sure. He didn't have a single fundraiser. So fundraisers are when wealthy people call their wealthy friends or some of their well-to-do people, they get them in a room and then everybody donates money. You didn't have to do that. You didn't do that.
No.
Wow. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself. I mean, I'll tell you what I know. So I first saw your run the first time around. Was it 18 that you ran for?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you ran for 18 the first time. Didn't really hear a lot. And then all of a sudden, it was like you jumped in this time and everybody sort of took notice.
Right. You know, it was crazy. You know, I ran because, you know, Congresswoman called me and told me that she was running for mayor. And I told her on the phone that I wanted to be her successor.
Wow.
And she said, go for it.
Wow.
So, you know, it was an amazing run, you know, for a couple months. And unfortunately, she didn't win that mayor's race. And, you know, I stepped back because she was like a grandmother-like figure for me.
Absolutely.
There's no way. And got involved immediately to go and make sure she could win that re-election. She won by 30, despite the fact the poll said that she was tied. But, you know, that's either here nor there.
The poll said she was tied?
Yeah, I remember
They said she was tied with who?
With Amanda Edwards. That's what they said, you know, but hey.
All right.
You know,
Everybody's winning.
Everybody's winning.
You know how the polls go. But seriously, you know, I'm somebody who's from this city, grew up in Houston, went to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, worked here, spent 4 years as a congresswoman as their senior advisor, and, you know, traveled around the country to elect House Democrats as well. So a lot of good work.
Before we get to this other candidate, we're going to spend a little bit of time with you. What was it like? There are a lot of people who are probably watching right now. I was a staffer. I actually worked for State Representative Dr. Alma Allen.
Okay.
One legislative session, long time ago, 2011. I mean, long time ago. So I know a little bit about it, but what was your path to get even to that point of being like a staffer for a member of Congress?
Well, for me, I met the congresswoman in college. I was doing this really big initiative to try to get people to go vote at U of H, and she just showed up to one of our press conferences.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
I mean,
that's what she did.
That's what she did. She just showed up. I had no idea that she was going to be there. Yeah. And matter of fact, I was actually talking, and I look up and I see all these dudes in suits. You know, she had the full detail. She came down and she goes and she shakes my hand. She's, I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. And it was almost like meeting Michael Jackson or something. I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And so then she goes and she gives me her phone number. Oh. And she says, Isiah, if you ever need anything, let me know.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And so about a week later, because I was feeling...
Yeah.
You know?
So at the time, what is your like role? Like, what was this? Were you like at a club? Was it a club or organization or like what is it?
So I was the leader of this club called For the Students.
Okay.
And so it was something that we originally started to do sexual assault prevention on college campuses.
Okay.
But then a lot of us got pissed off because we had to wait like 4 hours to go vote at U of H in 2020.
Okay. Okay.
So then we shifted it to go and work towards.
So you were a student in 2020.
I was.
Y'all.
Isn't that crazy? I was.
And he's a candidate for Congress. Keep going.
But yeah, so we did that, and so about a week after I met the congressman, we were doing this food drive.
Okay.
And it was this statewide competition that I created with a couple of other universities on who could raise the most for like food insecurity. Right?
Okay.
And we were getting crushed. Texas Tech was screwing us.
Okay.
They were because Texas Tech had fully bought in.
Don't they do the tortilla thing?
Yeah, they do. They
do the tortilla.
100%.
Yeah.
They do it. And so they had like fully bought in, and we're getting killed. So I was thinking, okay, I really need some publicity.
Yeah.
Who's the one person I know who can really make some noise?
Yeah.
So I just remember looking at my phone, and I said, I'm going to call the congresswoman.
Yeah.
And I called her phone, didn't expect for her to answer at all. I didn't expect for her to answer at all. And then all of a sudden I hear in the background, Mr. Speaker, blah, 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 like something on the floor. She answers my phone call on the floor of the house. And she goes, this is Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Is this urgent? And I said, well, and my voice was shaking at this point because I was like, what the hell?
Because you could hear that she's on the floor.
I could hear that she was on the floor.
My
And I go, Congresswoman, I'm doing this food drive. Like, I really need your help. Like, could you please help? She's like, what's it called? And I said, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was whatever the name was, right? And so I gave her the name. She said, okay. And then she just hangs up. Doesn't say bye, doesn't say anything. She just hangs up.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Within a couple hours, she's on CNN, and she goes, yeah, I've just partnered with a couple of kids I met at the University of Houston, and they're launching this food drive that needs your help.
Whoa!
And she goes, I need your help. I need you all to go in and to support this effort immediately right now. And I was like shocked. And then she calls me and goes, okay, Isiah, so I will be in Houston on Friday, and we will do a press conference, and we will bring everybody together. You got to get everybody there and do it. And so I was in awe. Like, I was like, I had never really seen anything like this.
As you should be.
So after this whole debacle, right, we won the challenge, by the way.
Yeah,
we
of course you did.
She crushed it, right? So after this whole thing, I was like, I need to just be around this person. Like, I asked her, I said, what can I do to learn? She said, I'll let you know. She would just send me an event, and then I would just show up. And so the first thing was her toy drive, that she does every year for Christmas.
Every year.
Yeah. Then she was doing, at that time, vaccinations and testing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then,
because it's during COVID.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
And so she would just send me these locations, and I would just show up. And I'd be the first person there, the last person to leave. And I would just do that all of the time. And so I did this for weeks. And I never and it was like almost like everybody was like, wow, you're pretty much like with us now at this point. Yeah. And then, the congresswoman just kind of started to like give me more things to do. And then like, she was like, after I graduated, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was thinking like, okay, I've left this organization, I'm leaving. It's now time for me to go be an adult.
What were you going to do? Because that's a very interesting segue. But had you not like lightning struck, what was your plan? Like, what did you want to do?
I was going to go to law school.
Okay.
I was I really wanted to. I really wanted to be a lawyer. I thought that that's what I was going to do, and I had kind of like trained my life to kind of like be in that position. Mm-hmm. And then, after I graduated, she was like, "Well, you don't have to stop helping, right? Like you can still be around, right? Mm-hmm. You can still do things." And then I said, "Well, what am I going to?" She said, "You're going to be my senior advisor." I said, "I'm 20.
Whoa.
I'm 23, 20. How is that?" And she said, "You'll figure it out."
You'll figure it out.
And from that point on, every single day, pretty much for the next 3 years until the day she died, I talked to her about what was going on in Washington. Yeah. In terms of researching, I was a big research person. Okay. Right? So like when she had a bill that she was like really trying to figure out, like she would say, "Isiah, I need you to look up X, Y, Z, and I'm gonna call you." And then she would call me at like 1:00 at night, and then we would like figure it out, and and the rest is kind of history.
And the rest is not history. Now you are running for that seat. That is wow. Well, congratulations. I was telling people the other day, I was like, either way it goes, there are several people who have like planted themselves like as the ones to watch, right? So yeah, congratulations, and we're gonna keep keep it going, we have another member of, well, not member.
Hey,
You're a member of the podcast.
Speak that to existence.
You're a member of the podcast, and only for today. Yeah. But we have a member of the podcast. His name is, tell the folks who you are.
My name is Deddrick Wilmer.
Okay, Deddrick Wilmer, and you're running for?
Man, we're going to talk about that later. Right now, I'm currently running the 9th District, Congressional District.
Okay.
And as you know, if you even living on the rock, we'll be going through the redistricting as we speak. And me and Isiah was talking offline about what's going place this week. Right now, the case has been tried in the federal court in El Paso, and of course you have a Supreme Court case, Louisiana versus Calais.
Yeah, leave all that on.
People need to know. People need to know that.
Tell the people about you.
Well, it's not about me, but I'm gonna explain about me. Currently, I serve as Harris County Mud District 248.
Okay.
And been serving for the last several years.
Okay.
And like I said again, our opportunity is making sure we represent all.
There you go.
Making sure the fact we put Texas number one, but most important, reestablish the Houston delegation. As Isiah said, he supported a great of our late Sheila Jackson Lee, who was the premier, the queen of the Houston delegation.
Okay.
And this was lost right now. And no knock to the current individual who's serving Congress right now. My responsibility, my opportunity is to restore that back in the Houston region, because we have issues of crime in Houston. We got to get funding for our local police officers. We have to get our agencies, President Harris County, Montgomery County, Waller County, and HPD. Our response times is real slow right now. It's sad. We got to take care of this flooding issue. We got to start. We got to put the money and let the federal government handle the projects. Not give it to the county anymore. We gave the money to the county.
Let me ask you this. I got to push back a little bit. Because you're running as a Republican.
Oh, well, of course.
So you're running as a Republican. And don't the Republicans usually talk about like unfunded mandates and things coming from the federal government and more localized control of resources and the states being in charge? And
no, you're mixing in states. You make states' rights.
States' rights.
You mixing in states' rights, but what has happened? You already have an entity called the United States Army Corps of Engineers. That is the daddy of building flood control and any type of mitigation projects when it comes to infrastructure. Let's give them the opportunity. If you look at New Orleans, I use the example. New Orleans, knock on wood, hopefully if any hurricane comes to that region, we got to find some wood, and if any happened, the last storm that came through a couple years ago, religion flooding, because they built the levee system that was fully protected. They can actually build those tunnels to ship that water from the Sand Jack, from Lake Houston, from the Buffalo Bayou, and shoot that to the ship channel and as well as Galveston Bay. But give that to the Armed Corps Engineers, not for our bureaucrats in Harris County, and give it to their friends and family.
So let me ask you this. So what was like your foray into politics?
It goes back to 7th grade.
Okay.
7th grade, I started as a 4-H president. Okay. And
tell the people who don't know what 4-H.
Man, if you know 4-H is Texas version of the FFA. Okay, but it was more of not just taking care of the pig or the hog and the cows and the chickens, but most important, how to take care of your home, how to build your homestead, how to make sure that you can take care of a family, and those life skills were essential. So I started 7th grade, and of course all the way through college. Now as serving Harris County Municipal Utility District 248, and I'm the first black ever elected. In a
y'all don't like talking about stuff like that.
I say you try to pick on somebody, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I say this because, I bring this point because a lot of time we so focus so much on race, but we don't focus on what we can do to make a difference for everybody. Because I
didn't bring it up,
but I'm bringing it up because a lot of times we focus so much on rhetoric. Because rhetoric is great for likes, clicks, and everything else, but we don't focus on policy. Because when I get a phone call from an individual say, hey, we have an issue of water issues because we conversion from surface water, from well water to surface water, which no one really knows this. I'm not asking if you're a Republican or Democrat. I'm not asking if you're a liberal or conservative.
People just want the
get that taken care of. Yeah. And I think this is why I'm running for Congress, because we got to bring common sense back. We have to bring people that's willing to serve everyone. And not focusing on the rhetoric that's out there.
To Isiah too. But what do you say to the people that say, who does he think he is running for Congress? Like, have you ever worked for a member of Congress? Have you ever like pushed a bill or like an issue-based thing? Like, what would you say is like the litmus test that you can show to people that like, hey, I can bring people together, I can build, I can like make something happen?
You know, I'm the president of Gumbo Lending. It's a mortgage bank. It's a financial institution.
Okay.
And when you go from budgeting, and this is for my business, to dealing with employees, to making sure we provide a great service to our clients, and also to our referral partners, but also to, as our current elected official, make sure we go through a budget, make sure the fact we deal with vendor processes, make sure we take care of the people's needs. And the problem in Congress right now, we have 435 members of Congress, and a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them are attorneys, no disrespect, or social workers, but never actually ran a business, never understood a budget, and I give an example. I give Al Green an example. Al Green sits on the Banking Financial Service Committee, been serving for years. Maxine Waters been serving for years, never worked a bank in his life.
I mean, but do you think that is necessarily like part of what has to be part of somebody's resume if they're a representative?
Well, it's up to the constituents. But the deal is that number one, we got to focus on solving a problem. Or we're going to be advocates, or we're going to solve the problem. The problem is that people punt the problem, promote the problem, but not trying to solve the problem.
And that's what you want to do.
That's my responsibility.
And that's why you're running for Congress.
My responsibility is to solve the problem.
TX9. Y'all heard it
Well,
here first?
well, TX not as of today, but I'm considering.
Oh, you wanted him. You wanted him. You was talking about Al Green.
And that's not a knock to Al, but I'm using an example because his background is not banking financial services.
I do want to ask a question really quickly.
Go ahead.
I know you said earlier that we shouldn't be focusing on race, but you are running for Congress. And as a person of color, a black man that's running for Congress, I think that it is important to focus on race. Why do you feel that race is not important when it comes to being a part of leadership when we have systematic racism issues?
What you call systematic racism?
Just about the reason why the redlining, the red tape when it comes to trying to get a house here in the United States as a black person, getting a loan as a black person, getting a job and being paid the right wage as your white counterparts. Those are things that are systematically in place to keep a certain demographic down.
I'm president of a mortgage bank.
You're one of the few.
Okay, and I'm going to say this, and I've been an underwriter since the 90s.
Fair.
And when I look at application, I don't see color. I see your credit, if you're credit worthy, if you have sufficient funds to close, and if you have the ability to repay. Okay? And those things come from adulting. It's come from being responsible and have a plan to execute. A lot of times it's easy to focus on the boogeyman. It's easy for me to blame everyone else, but you have to look at yourself, what I can do. If that person do not want to support me because of who and what I am, because of the color of my skin, I take my money and my service to someone else. Wow. And we have to realize that we got to stop being the victim. We have to learn how to be victorious and realize everybody don't support you. Everybody ain't gonna like you, and everybody's not gonna want you. Absolutely. But you align yourself. Let me say this. You have to align yourself with somebody. What do they call it? But you let me say this. But let me say this.
Go ahead and finish.
But you have to align yourself with those who dare to support you. Like I always say, everybody helps you. But let me say this.
You keep putting your blink on.
But let me say this. Everybody helps you is not your friend.
Right.
And everybody that fights you is not your enemy.
There you go.
So we have to understand that we got to get beyond worrying about the boogeyman and focus on what you're going to do.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. Isiah.
Interesting.
I saw you over there too. Can we put a gold star on the thing? Because I've seen this guy right here.
Yes.
I have seen him. I saw him on the stage at Trinity Methodist Church.
I'm not known for staying quiet.
And Carmen, that's what I was wondering. I was
you were wrong for picking
I was literally sitting back.
That was cold, man. That was cold.
But as you know, you've pointed out Sheila Jackson Lee is one of the people who you look up to. Who are some of those other people locally that you say, you know what, I like the way they are governing? And if you don't, you don't have to answer that way. But are there others?
You know, locally, I really respected, obviously, Sylvester Turner. Mm-hmm. He was somebody who I worked with a lot. Congressionally, I'm a big fan of Jasmine Crockett.
All right.
I love Jasmine Crockett.
Because she knows how to
communicate. That's right.
And wield the message.
That's right.
That is an art form.
That's
It
right.
is.
And it's an art form that I feel like we're losing.
That's right.
When I look nationally at the DNC, when I look at the statewide level of the TDP, and even when I look locally with the Harris County Democratic Party, sometimes I get texts or sometimes I see flyers. I'm like, is this satire? Who made this? What is this boring shit? Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you think is the way that, you said you had 35,000 contributions.
Yeah, that's right.
And no max outs.
That's right.
And see, the difference is there's one way to raise $718,000 where you just get max outs, but you can't go back to those people.
That's right.
You can't ask them for any more. But if you have people, what would you say your average contribution was?
$19.
$19. You can get that all day long.
That's right.
And that's the long game.
Right.
So tell us about you deciding to run, like when the seat opened up, how long, and take us back to that moment where you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I know a lot of folks had been planning on this or whatever to do this year, but I was not. I had no idea that Congressman Turner was as sick as he was. I was planning on continue to do the work that I was doing to turn out voters, to change the way we communicate on social media. And I also had my day job. I was working in aerospace as well. But yeah.
Like the Dos Equis man.
Yeah,
he was working in
I got many
his
hats.
day job. I thought you were going to say, driving for Amazon or something.
No.
Doing pallets at Sam's Club. No,
Hey,
you
man.
out there in aerospace.
That's right.
Okay.
That's true. But, I when the congressman passed away, I kind of was just really shocked. I remember just sitting in my apartment like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How did this happen? And I didn't really talk to anybody for a day or 2 days. I kind of left my phone on D&D. And then I started to hear about some of the folks that were deciding that they wanted to run. And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And I immediately knew that our party needed to be in a much better position. And I knew that because I had such a strong backing and understanding of how the federal government works, coupled with my ability to get the message out, I was like, yeah, I'm going to jump into this race because it's really important. And, as time went on, I've seen all of the crazy comments or whatever on social media, and I know a lot of folks wrote me off, but I think that ultimately what made me keep going during those moments was the last conversation that I had with the Congresswoman, in which she told me, in your life, you're going to see a lot of insanity. People are going to be pulling at you from directions left and right or whatever. But you have to promise that you will never give up. Mm-hmm. And she made me promise her that I would never give up. And that is what made me keep going those days when it was really difficult to campaign.
Yeah.
And it's what powered me to be innovative. Mm-hmm. And because one of the things that I always prided myself with being with the congressman was finding new ways to be outside the box.
Absolutely.
And when one way didn't work, we found others. And so social media was a big part. We really ramped up on that in this quarter. We really made sure that we were putting out good videos, good content.
You're good at it. You're good at it. All of the ads, not even the ads, because I don't know if you have a TV ad up yet, but all of the ads that I see, just from, I don't know, is it your brother? Is he doing a lot of stuff?
He films
You need to start your own.
Yeah.
You need to monetize this. You need to start your own firm for real. Because if you look at what other people are posting, and if you look through their campaign finance report and see how much they paid for that shit, you still hit them over the head, but not as bad, and it'll be more effective. Because I think you. And everybody has their thing. I sat next to Al Lloyd is running for at-large for. I sat next to him at the Wilder Avenue debate, and we were betting each other $1. When it went to each of you. So when it went to Amanda, it was I bet you $1 she's about to say city council or Harvey. For you, it was Trump, and I forget what the other. Republicans.
Yeah.
And then.
Ain't no damn Republican.
I forget what the other ones were, but it was like, you know, found like your lane.
I really, and no disrespect,
No,
but
you're
I
good, man. You're
really
good. We found
don't like the Republican Party.
Right.
No, you don't like MAGA.
No.
Make it clear.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't
Why?
like the Republican
Why
Party.
you don't like it, man?
Well, because I don't think they stand for anything.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna keep it 100.
Well, but I just want to finish this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think they stand for anything, and I believe that it is a party that is 100% subservient to Donald Trump.
Some do. I don't. Okay.
Well, but-
let's make that clear.
Well,
Let's make it clear.
And this is not a attack on you.
No, you're good.
But
It's impersonal.
But what this is understanding the current makeup of Congress, right? And of those that are currently in there, they are 100% subservient to whatever he wants to do. Why? Because the Trump endorsement is 99% effective in Republican primaries. So they know that if they don't do what Donald Trump wants them to do, they're going to go and do that. So, look, I'm not a supporter of their efforts to gerrymander our state. I'm not a supporter of what they're doing to cut health care. I'm not supportive of the $1 trillion worth of Medicaid cuts. I'm not supportive of the $4.5 trillion that they've passed in tax cuts for the richest people in America. I think that it throws our community under the bus.
How? Let's talk about how.
What do you mean, how?
Okay, let's talk about. So we're gonna focus on the rhetoric, or what is your solution?
What is my solution?
When you get to
I'll give you a
Congress,
solution.
when you get to Congress,
Okay.
you have to serve.
That's right.
You serve Republicans, Democrats, Independents, non-voters, and whomever else in between. You don't pick a side. So the question is, I can go all day long and saying what the Democrats or what Republicans do, but what are you going to do? I can tell you what I'm going to do, but what are you going to do to get beyond the rhetoric and focus on policies?
I'll give you a perfect
Go,
example.
let's go.
The top thing that I want to do is axe the stupid Trump tariffs.
Take Trump out of this.
No,
Take the emotions
no,
out.
but you
Yeah.
have to put Trump into
Okay.
this. Why? Because he's raised our prices. When you go and you put a tariff on the cost of basically everything that comes into this country, that raises our prices. You go to the grocery store, you feel that. You're trying to go buy a new home because of the tariffs on lumber, you feel that. You understand that that's making a cataclysmic effect on everything that's happening. But in addition to that,
Well, go ahead.
it's more than that, right?
Go ahead.
I want to get rid of the Trump tariffs because I believe that a president shouldn't be able to just single-handedly raise our prices because he's had a bad day and wants to send out a tariff like a drunk text at 2 a.m. I think we got to do more than that. I think that we have to cancel the ridiculous tax cuts that he has posed, basically, that have plunged our country further into debt. No president has ever added more to the national debt in this country than Donald J. Trump.
So my question is, talk about the tariffs, and I'm going to go to the Big Beautiful Bill. So you think the Big Beautiful Bill was a populist? So if that was any Democratic president, you think that would have went flying colors, passed through both chambers with no problems?
That
Because that
bill-
was a populist bill. That
No.
wasn't a fiscal
How can you say that?
conservative bill.
But how can you say that? The bill literally added $2.5 trillion
That's
to the
the point
national
I'm
debt.
making.
He's literally
It was a populist bill.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has the worst approval rating than any other president ever in the history of
Regardless
this
of
country.
approval rating, that's what make the
no,
policies.
No, but it's important. In the
Yeah.
generic ballot for the
Yes.
next midterms, right?
Yeah.
The Republicans are down 8 points. If that was such a popular bill, the Republicans would not be losing. And wait a second.
Yeah.
In Trump's own
Okay.
pollster,
That's
it's not like
policy.
this.
That's rhetoric.
I
That's what the
just
policy.
want to make sure I finish. it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
Wrap
not
it
like
up.
it's not like this is some left wing poll. This
Yeah.
is Atlas Intel. This
Okay.
is Trump's pollster
Okay.
that had him winning in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and in Arizona. It's literally his people saying that he's down 8 points. So if this was such a popular bill, the people wouldn't.
Well, we
wouldn't
always
be
say
lining up to throw the Republicans
we
out of
always say
office.
who's the posters are, but let's go back to tariffs. The purpose of the tariffs is same thing what the Clinton administration did. They did back in the 90s, before your time.
When did Bill
I was-
Clinton?
Back in the
I was
90s.
there. Hold
And
on,
I'm
I
gonna
was
go back.
there.
Let me finish,
Okay,
please.
go
Let me
ahead.
finish, please. It's an opportunity to create America First agenda. Bring the opportunity, the factories back into the United States. If there's a car that's made in Japan, we're going to, this is during the Clinton administration, we're going to charge a tariff. And that's what made Honda, made Nissan, made every Japanese motor to bring a presence
That
in
is
Mississippi
literally
and
a lie.
Alabama, but that's the same
That is
thing.
not true.
That was the same script. That is true. The same script that the Clinton administration did back in the 90s.
Can you tell me when Bill Clinton ever imposed a unilateral tariff over the United
look it
States
up.
on
Google's
every
free.
single country effectively?
No, he did. No, he didn't go that broad.
Well, so then obviously then it's not the same
No,
thing.
that's not the. No, I'm giving you that as an example. So, like I said, that's an example. Donald Trump is not doing this in order to say, "Oh, I'm going to hurt America."
Yes,
no,
he is.
No,
He's
that's your opinion.
Well,
You're
I-
entitled to that.
Let me give you a fact.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
I like facts.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm a policy guy.
Donald Trump, when he went and passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017,
Congress did. He signed it.
That means he
passed
approved it.
He signed
Whatever.
it,
That
but
means
it still
he
went to
approves
Congress.
it. If he
Whatever.
signed it, that means
Yeah.
he
It
approves
Go
it.
ahead.
came into effect
Okay.
because of his signature on a piece of paper. After he did that, $2.5 trillion was added to the national debt effectively over time.
Yeah.
Now, what was the result? The result was, for the first time in a long time, the domestic share of private sector investment in new manufacturing facilities went down. Under Barack Obama's leadership, we were getting about $85 billion a year in private sector investment in
You
these
talking about the
facilities.
first term or the second term?
In the first term. Wait,
Okay,
and
first term.
I'm going to get to
Okay,
that.
okay.
In the second Donald Trump becomes president, that number decreases to about $75 billion per year. So despite the fact that these companies were getting record profits at the time, despite the fact that
What
our
sector?
country...
What sector?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Record profits at the time. CEO pay was at all-time high. The stock market was through the roof. And they literally got this big tax cut bill. Those same companies invested less than what they did when Obama was president. So now they've continued these tax cuts as they passed it. And what happened again? Under Joe Biden, $210 billion of private sector investment in manufacturing facilities in one of the years that he was in president. Now, under Donald Trump, guess what happened again? The numbers going down. So there is no correlation whatsoever between passing these massive tax cut bills and investing in America. I watched as Donald Trump flew around the United States with Trump Force One in 2016 saying he was going to invest in America. And what happened? Investment went down. This time he said the same lie again. And you know what? The same thing is happening.
And I'm gonna say this, and this is the thing. We can have this conversation all day on what we don't like from Donald Trump, what we don't like, but we always have to understand that all opportunities are local. We have to focus on what happens in Harris County. We need to focus on what goes in Montgomery, Waller, and all of the.
But we're
Fort
running
Bend.
for Congress.
But I understand. But then when you're Congress, you represent your district first.
You represent
okay?
all.
I'm not running for the president of the United States of America. I'm running for I'm certainly running for the 9th Congressional District. So the point I'm making, the point that I'm making clear the fact that I'm not here running as a cheerleader for whoever the president is, because I believe in 3 equal branches of government. But as a congressman, my responsibility is making sure that business charity begins at home within my district whatsoever. Now, would I support the president? I don't care whoever the president. I'm going to support the president, whoever it is, because I respect that office. And I want to make sure that America is always number one and always first.
But isn't it, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
And we're going to agree to disagree.
You said 3 equal branches of government, but one of those branches being the legislative branch. Aren't you supposed to be a check and a balance on the executive
Of course.
branch? And if that is true, shouldn't you then be able to not only have an opinion about the policies of the president, but also the rhetoric, right? Because as the president says something about a company, stocks go up or down. His word or her word, whoever it might be that is the president of the United States, their word is heavy. So you're supposed to be a check and balance on that. If elected, could you do that?
Of course. Because, again, that's what my responsibility is, to build a relationship with Susan Wiles. Susan Wiles is the chief of staff for the president, and to build a relationship with the aides. So the key is the fact that I'm not going to go on CNN and MSNBC on TikTok and running my mouth and running aside of my mouth and talking about the administration. I don't care if it was Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or Donald Trump. But let me say this. I'm answering this question. So my responsibility is to make sure I build that relationship. If I have an issue, I'm not going on TV and running my mouth. I'm going to have that tough conversation. And it may not be. If you know me, it may not be also
I just have a quick question, and I don't want your opinion. Do you see a Republican Party that includes those that are U.S. senators, those that are members of Congress, that are rolling over for the president? Do you see a Republican Party right now that is rolling over?
Yeah, I
for
see.
president?
There's a MAGA presence.
Okay.
And I'm not MAGA. Okay, I'll make that loud and clear.
You might not want to say that out loud.
I
brother.
said again, I'm not MAGA.
I'll
Okay.
say this: a lot of the
Yeah,
topics,
go
a lot of the speaking points that we've been hearing tonight has been hypothetical. It is not something that we're not in a political climate where every day we're playing by the rules that we're supposed to be when we get this rule book of democracy. Unfortunately, that's not the climate that we're in. So what you're speaking to is hypothetical. We need to, as a person who is a voter, I'm a VDR. I register people to vote.
And you're good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If I go
Hot
out
Girl
there,
VDR on TikTok.
yes, Hot Girl VDR. Follow me,
Please say that one more time.
I go out there and do the Lord's work. I register people to vote. But in order
Mary
to
Madeline.
get someone to actually be politically involved, I have to come with some type of fact behind it. And hypothetical is not going to seal the deal. And I feel like a lot of the things that we've been discussing tonight is hypothetical and not what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. You can say that you are a candidate that is not a part of a certain demographic within a candidacy. However, perception is stronger than the truth. Right now, who's running the show?
Well, yeah.
And on top of that, the people that are running the show, our government is shut down at the moment for the second time underneath the same leadership.
And that's
That speaks a lot more volume.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that to say this: we cannot base off of any type of context that's a hypothetical. It needs to be a fact if we're going to speak on it.
And as I said to this, is that I'm not MAGA. And I'm not, my responsibility is not trying to win an election based on trying to score political points. It's actually lead. Leadership had to listen. Leadership had to lead. And the problem is the fact that we have all this rhetoric. And that goes on both sides. Our whole political ecosystem has gone far left and far right. No one wants to come to the middle of work. That's why we have this shutdown right now. Okay? Answer that question, because everybody is trying to get clicks and likes. And I keep stating that. And nobody's willing to serve all. And my responsibility and my legacy when I leave that seat is that I was that one dude, that one John Wayne dude,
the unicorn
that made sure that he got shit done. And that is what my legacy is. Not trying to get 1,000, no disrespect, Isiah. I'm not trying to get 100 million followers on TikTok. That's not who I am. I'm not trying to just.
Okay,
and
that was a slug.
No, Isiah,
Those followers are voters.
I love it. I love it. No, I love it. But that's not my mission.
And I would even argue.
No, I love it.
No, I would argue.
Because I'm going to hire his brother, too.
I would. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. And I've heard this. I've heard people do some version of this, right?
They're doing that a lot now.
They're doing that a lot. You know, did you know that before there was social media, before there was YouTube, there was TV. Before there was TV, there was radio. Before there was radio, there was the
man on the corner,
the Western Union, right? Like
you had to
send
work
a telegram.
Yes.
Okay, so if he's able to, or whoever it is, right, whether it's in politics or elsewhere, this is the way that people are communicating.
But I'm gonna go deeper. The reason I respect Isiah, because he's not the proclamation king. He's not the socialite. He's in the trenches. And this is what we have to have from our elected officials and our leaders who actually go straight to the people. And that's why I have mad respect for that.
Speaking of elected officials, earlier today in Houston, I think they were at Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church right over there on, what is that, McGregor. There was a press conference, Bodies in the Bayou. Initially, of course, the mayor and the chief of police came. They said, look, you have nothing to see here, no big deal. But yet another body was found. You were talking a little bit earlier about local government and the importance of it. What is going on with these bodies in the bayou? I want to start with Amber.
Well, I'm a true crime girly, so this is up my alley.
First 48, huh?
Look, all of them. My YouTube's crazy. Honestly, I see both ends of the spectrum. I can see how the community see there's a serial killer. And by definition, a serial killer is a person that does 3 murders with a cool down period.
Say that one more time again.
3 murders. At least that's the jump off point. 3 murders with a cool down period. So between each murder, and it can't go past a month. That is a serial killer by definition. Okay. And so I can see how people could see that, because we've had 5 bodies in the week and not remains, bodies that we found. And then they're being hush-hush with it. So of course everybody has their tin hat on. But I also see the other side of it, because last year we had 24 bodies found in the bayou. We're at 15 now. And this is the 10th month of the year. So I think it's on brand. Now, unfortunately, I wish we can do something about that, whether it is a homicide, whether it is our displaced friends in the city that are gone and did something unthinkable. I think that we definitely should look more into it and take it a little bit more seriously as a city. But transparency is very important right now.
Absolutely.
And I really feel the fact that I hope that HPD will start reaching out its federal resources and get the FBI involved. Not trying to scare the public, but sometimes you have to bring that presence. But to make sure the fact that this is really a consistent one person, two people operation that's going on, because we do have sex trafficking and narrow trafficking that goes on in the city here. That's put that out there. And this is the reason why is that, I've had conversation with Harris County officials, Montgomery County officials right now, is that people there don't have enough police officers, enough presence. And so this is why we have to have some type of level of contract policing. HB, they don't do contract policing. The constables and the sheriff department does. And this is why each neighborhood need to beef up, because if there's a presence, the likelihood of crime goes down to a very minimum, okay? And this is why it's necessary. And right now, people have to be vigilant. They have to protect. And I don't want people to live in fear, but use some common sense. Yeah.
All right.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm incredibly troubled that these bodies have appeared in this bayou, and don't nobody know anything about how that happened. Yeah. There's no video.
Right.
There's no surveillance.
Strange. Absolutely.
And I think personally it is somewhat concerning. I didn't even think it was possible.
Yeah.
That a body could just show up somewhere in the fourth largest city in America and nobody knows how it got there.
Right.
So one of the things that I want to be doing in Congress is bring and create legislation that will allow for cities to really beef up their surveillance in terms of cameras. We got to get a lot more cameras along our bayous so we can know what's happening, because I don't think it should be possible in a city as big as ours, as advanced as ours, that you can now have, 20 in the last 13 months? You shouldn't be able to have 15. That. It's 15. Well, that's just in the calendar year.
Oh, that's just in the calendar year.
I'm saying like in the last 12 months, like it's been a lot.
It's been a lot more than that. It's in the 20s, I believe.
100%.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of, Isiah and guys, we do have a lot of crime. But the issue, like the way the bodies are dropped, if you take the sand jack, if you go out the sand jack can actually flow into the back end of Buffalo Bayou, even you start from Buffalo Bayou way out in West Houston.
Well, what I'm saying,
it can come in different ways.
Well, but then we should have cameras to be able to see when the body starts to show.
Yeah,
up.
like how
how did it get this far and nobody saw anything?
Yeah.
Like nobody knows anything.
Right. Didn't hear anything.
And so, like, look, I don't want, because I know the congresswoman in the back of my head, it's like, Isiah, make sure you use your words very carefully. And so I don't want to say that there is a serial killer, but I cannot definitively say there is not a serial killer.
Well, Isiah, I'll say it. We live in Gotham City, okay?
Oh, come on, man.
We live in Gotham City.
No.
I say the
I love me
GTA
some
Lounge
Houston.
waiting room.
I
I'm
love
not gonna
HTX. I love HTX, yeah.
Gotham?
Come on, man.
Gotham
Where
is
you
crazy,
from?
man.
Where you from,
That is
man?
Joker
crazy.
is
Where you from?
Listen, have y'all not been paying attention?
Where you from?
I'm born and raised right here. In
How
fact,
you gonna hate, man?
In fact, I grew up on
come
Selinsky.
on.
I grew up on Selinsky.
Oh,
What you know about
oh.
5638
Oh,
Selinsky,
man.
Christmas
Gotham
Village,
is
next
crazy.
to Foxwood. So I know Gotham when I see it.
That's what they call that. Not the
Houston in the
bottom.
90s
Not
was
the bottom.
Gotham.
What they call the dead end?
Right.
The dead
There
end.
you go.
Oh, you from the
Dead
dead
Yeah,
end?
you already know.
Oh man.
There you go.
Houston in the 90s was a little Gotham-ish.
There you go. I want to acknowledge
You
some
from
of
the
the
dead end. Nah, I can't say nothing no more. Brother, take my words back. My bad.
There you go. I want to acknowledge some folks. Chris Joseph Bessert said the Bayou definitely needs surveillance now. It should have always had cameras present. Lloyd C. Ford said most politicians haste to speak in hypothetical because they are not doing anything real. Cooney Johnson says he's putting in the work to reach people, particularly the young generation. Go Isiah. And I'll say this too.
We gotta get
If you
Rachel to
really
work.
pay attention, I want y'all to really, really pay attention to like the direction that things are going, right? I would argue that when you look at communication style access, right, they're knocking it out of the park. They're knocking it out of the park. They're live right now, right? Like this is the way, if the Democrats are to win anything, right? Speaking of, are they going to win? What is Harris County Court the commissioner's court going to look like this year? This is neither the candidate saying it, that is me saying it right now. It's not looking too good.
Why you say that?
It's not looking too. Let me, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I think when you look back at 2018 when Lena Hidalgo first came in, you look at 2022 when she ran again. Both times, right? And those were midterm election cycles. Okay,
100%.
very, very close.
Yeah,
very, very too close for
With
comfort.
very low turnout.
Very low turnout. And I would argue that for the people that say like, oh, that's no disrespect to Isiah, he gets a lot of views. That's the reason. The communication that is going out, the 1995 knock on your door, the 2009 hi, this is such and such, but this such and such. It don't work. It's not working. And what's crazy, this is what's crazy. These people, look at their campaign finance report. They're paying these people all this money to do this antiquated shit that's not working.
And I'm gonna tell you,
it's not working. And then you have people that say, "Oh, that's cute what he's doing." This, you better start taking notes.
But and she can attest to this. The issue with primary voters, most of those voters are over 55. Yeah, over 55. And the issue is the fact that our younger voters are not registering to vote.
Oh, I can tell you why.
And I thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can tell you why. Like you said, choose your words
Yes.
wisely. I'm still learning.
No.
In my
Keep
big
it real.
age.
No.
Keep it real.
I have to be
Keep it
politically
real.
correct.
Keep
Oh no,
it real.
I will be real, honey. That's not going to change anything.
Keep it
Keep it 100.
Keep it 100, but like keep
I'm gonna keep it a
stay
band.
within
I'm
the
gonna keep it a
perimeter.
band. No, here's the issue. It's more than just getting the young people out to vote. To me, that is the cart before the horse situation.
Thank you.
It's a two issue. One, we need to educate people on how to vote, how to screen a candidate. What does it look like that the policy works in my favor? Does this work for me? Is that somebody I can support? Do I think they have the integrity to actually do what they're saying in front of me?
Absolutely.
People do not know how to do that on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes when candidates come to speak, they speak over their constituents' heads.
They do it all the time.
They do it like you're my constituents, and then turn around and say, "I work for my stakeholders." Those are not the same people.
You know what else I hate, Amber? I hate. I'm a voice for the voiceless. Could you stop saying that shit?
I mean, look,
Because if you look at your voters, if you look at your constituents, and you say they don't have a voice, it's already wrong. Resign now.
Resign now.
And then I will say this: I'm 39. I just turned 39.
Okay.
So now, thank you.
Well, I'm an old man
when
up in
I
this
go, kinda. when I go to these meetings and they start talking about we need to start reaching to the youth, and they've been saying this shit for 20 years.
Yeah.
Now they're not talking about me, so it's like, oh, okay. But I will tell you this: if I was 20 or 25 years old, and we just went through this pandemic, people were sold a false. Like they were sold a wolf ticket. They were told, go to college, get these student loans, do these things. People did that. They checked this off the list, they checked that off the list, and they're still not able to get a job, hold a job, and be able to pay their bills.
Yep.
People are not trying to do the absolute most. They're not trying to buy a Bentley. They're trying to pay their bills. And so now you want to give them extra work to do. If you're working second shift at Target and Smoothie King on the weekends to pay your bills, when are you supposed to do all this research? Right. Then you have people that go out and say, go vote. And it's like, it's so much more nuanced than that. And I would say that wait, you held up the phone.
That phone.
What about the phone?
That phone is powerful.
Okay, I thought you was about to say something else, but I'm
Isaiah's,
okay.
And Isaiah, I'm sorry to give you the love that you deserve, man. Is that
No, you do.
it goes back to the phone. I don't make any excuses because people do everything from their phone, and the phone is powerful, man. My grandparents, people died the right to vote. But what we have to start doing, this is not voting. You're hiring Isiah. You're hiring Deddrick. You're hiring the people that represent you. Absolutely. And it's our responsibility is to make sure we advocate on what we're going to do and then get people like you and you to hold us accountable.
I don't know
and
what
get
it is about
beyond
this room.
D's and R's.
I don't know what it is about this room that brings in this very heavy Southern accent in people. He was not talking like this earlier today,
baby.
and now he he sounds like Congressman John Lewis.
Oh,
he just
man.
all of a
See,
sudden-
you wrong for that, man. Hey, Reverend
just
Congressman
came in.
Lewis, man, I love you. You the
right.
man. He wrong for that.
No, you do very Southern, very Southern.
And I
It's
say,
the ambiance.
and I say this because we have a lot of great
gotta
minds
say
in this
this.
room.
I just gotta say this. Sometimes, and I used to talk to Congresswoman about this all the time. When you do a lot of social media, you get sick of the grift.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's so many people that cast themselves as social media gurus,
Right.
but they're not able to reach people.
They have no social skills outside of that.
But I get so mad when I watch, like, case in point.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He about to say a name.
Uh-oh.
Y'all lean in.
Uh-oh.
Insert random 80-year-old politician.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Why are you doing a TikTok dance like
It's
you Addison
sad.
Ray or
It's
somebody?
sad.
Like,
It really is.
Well, I'm about to struck a nerve like
No, but-
Sexy
but-
Red performing
well,
at a political rally,
but
huh?
what I'm saying is that look,
Oh, God.
I learned very early on. I can't dance. Look, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest. I can't dance. That's not my thing, right?
Okay.
So I learned early on. I just go on the camera and I just talk.
There you go.
And I realized that if you just do that, you just honest with people, you just post a lot. I mean, that's what people like to see. They want to have people communicate. And I think that one of the biggest problems that we have and why I love this show so much is that we don't answer enough questions.
Yes.
We don't have those difficult conversations that need to be had that everybody's thinking in the back of their mind,
Right.
Yes.
but nobody actually says out loud. And for so long, we've treated politics as if it's like this one-way street, right?
Yes.
To where you've got the politician that goes and they will pass you out stuff a month before election day
Yes, yes.
or a month before the primary.
Oh, they
and
about to
say,
fry some fish.
They've been fighting.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
the
that's right.
barbecue over there.
That's
going
right.
on.
Lot of pandering.
But they'll say they've been fighting. They've been doing all these things. But then people will be like, well, is my life really better, X, Y, Z, or not? And I think that people have built questions that are completely unanswered. And I think that that's why, like, doing as much of this as we can is
Yes.
important. You know, going on TikTok, you know, having those debates. You know, in my campaign, right, we've now reached a part where a lot of them are now saying, well, I'm not trying to be TikTok famous. I'm not trying to be Twitter famous.
Be on there.
They couldn't if they wanted to.
That's what it
Right,
is.
But you
that
better,
part.
you better be on there.
That's what
the
it
thing.
is.
They
And-
couldn't.
And I was
No
somewhere.
stage presence. No stage presence.
Well, but you know what?
We gotta relate to people.
And I was somewhere, and I was like, Isiah, don't say it, don't say it, don't
Say
say
it.
it. But I was like, you would do it if you could.
You would do it if you could.
Because if you're paying somebody $15,000 a month
Right,
to make
right.
social media
and
content
it's not even
for
good.
you,
It's not even
and it's
good.
not going
It
anywhere.
doesn't, it's not even. It doesn't even look good. Like literally, y'all go look it up. Some of the people that are running for some of these offices, social media is just trash. It's like I could do better on Canva. I could do better on Canva. Like me, and I'm not even good.
But it makes you wonder where the 15K is going.
yeah, I
Exactly.
wonder where that's going.
Well, because
I could tell you,
Where does it
over
go?
65. The problem is that, and this do political consultants, and I have two, and they advise is they go. Everybody is focused on, like we said earlier, focus on the primary voters. Primary voters are 45 plus. That is 80% of the
But
voters
there's
are primary
primary
voters.
voters online.
But I understand it. You correct. But they feel that the best way to reach them is the door knockers
And the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, too.
But
But-
I love it. The social media presence.
But see, I think here's where we go wrong. Because
Talk to me.
if you limit, right, if you limit your outreach to those who read the mail and those who, you know,
That's right.
eat the hospital food, right, then what's going to
You're wrong for
happen
that.
is
You
what's
not
going to
right.
happen is now it's the general. Now it's 6 months, 7 months later.
Yeah, that's right.
And now y'all out there trying to do the cha-cha slide or the latest TikTok, and it's like, no, you haven't talked to them at all, and now you want to be cool. You want to put on a
But it's
shiesty
pandering.
mask.
But it's
and-
pandering. It's pandering.
It's
It's
yeah.
pandering. And that's no different from like Isiah. Me and Isiah could disagree on many things, but I'm going to work with the brother. He's part of my Houston delegation. and I'm treat him as my own kid, and I'm gonna take care of him.
Now see, you were doing good.
I'm using.
You were doing good, and then you had to say you're gonna treat him like your own kid.
But that's see that.
That's
no disrespect.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 49 years old.
Okay, you're 49. I'm 39.
Yeah.
Part of the thing is, if that is top of mind, if you don't see Isiah as a capable member of
Who said he
Congress,
wasn't?
But I'm just saying. But you look at
you get take the emotions out of it. I was in his shoes 20-some years ago. 25 years ago.
And that's another thing.
25 years ago.
And
Let me
that's
tell you.
another
Let me tell you my
thing.
story.
Go
Let me tell
ahead.
you my story.
I asked for it earlier. You didn't want to give it. Go ahead and give it now.
I was a underwriting manager at 23 years old for Nations Bank.
Okay.
Before it was Bank of America.
He's telling a story now.
And I'm gonna tell you this. And people and everybody who I manage were people my parents' age.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were raised around boomers are not the nicest people on the planet to work with. Okay? Trust me, they make you a grown ass
put it in
man.
the ad and send it out in the primary.
They make you a grown ass man, okay? Or a grown ass woman, quick.
Look, ads.
Hey,
Hit me up.
Trust me, they did not. They had no love. They will fire you on spot. They don't care. They are HR. And so the deal is that I've been through a lot of my life, and I've been through a situation in my life.
I had to fight.
You know, been through a lot of my. No, I ain't going there. A lot of my life where that cross is so heavy.
Okay.
That it's too heavy for me to carry my own. And this is a way that I can provide the wisdom to this man. This man can help me too. He can help my staff. I'll help his staff. We're going to work together. I'm not going to dislike him because he's a Democrat. I've been a Democrat majority of my life.
What made you switch?
I'm about to ask, what made you switch?
You know, when the Democrat went so far left.
How so?
What does that consist of?
When they went so more into
Fighting for a living
very
wage.
progressive and
But
went
what
away.
is that? But like, what does that mean
I
though?
want to hear this.
Yeah,
I want
no,
to hear
literally,
this.
literally.
What does that actually mean?
You know, when it went, and I'm to answer the question, when it went so far left, when it went away from the core values of taking care of middle class Americans,
Okay.
when it went based on focus on family values, when it went away from that and focus on taking care of the immediate needs of the people and went so big tent, they lost. They left.
But
me.
what does that mean
What's
though?
a
Like,
big tent
what-
issue for you that was like, you know what? I'm packing my ish and I'm gone.
You know, when
What was
they
it?
went into the trans situation, and I don't care what lifestyle you live. I don't care who you sleep in your bedroom. I don't care who you bring in your life. But when you messing with our children, and as a parent,
I mean,
But what
how
does that
I don't know,
mean?
Yeah, how does that mean?
I'm
Because
answering the question.
As a former librarian for the Houston Public Library, shameless plug, we used to have
Fund the
drag,
library.
I love
drag,
our library
drag
system.
queen story time.
But
And as a librarian,
But that's okay if you want to drag and do whatever lifestyle you want to do. But why you involve our children?
But what does that have to do with the Democrats? I don't understand. What
Because
is
that party embraced.
How is that?
That's a California way. In California, but I'm answering your question. You may disagree. The California way infused into our remainder. The far progressive ways infused.
How?
so wait, my question for you,
policies.
is okay, so I understand that. So you have an issue with the fact of the matter that the Democratic Party backed such a lifestyle that was impacting our children. So how do you feel about child pedophilia when it comes with the Republican Party and everyone that is a pedophile on that
Is
side?
that a fact or that's just a perception?
It's
wait a
a fact,
second.
darling, that we got some people that are
wait a
Republicans
second.
right now
that's
having
a-
lawsuit behind sexual assault. We have a president in office right now dealing with sexual assault issues who is a Republican and leading that party.
What
so
you do
that's
in
an
your
issue.
again?
But wait a second.
Go ahead, man.
What is an example of the Democratic Party pushing what you said that we've pushed?
Okay, I'm gonna break it down to you. So if you go to many states, I use state of Florida. The state of Florida and many other states in California, they use Medicaid dollars to use to do, sex changes.
In
for our
Florida?
youth. In Florida, they do it. In
Ron
Florida.
DeSantis is Florida?
Regardless, it's
Yeah,
federal
'cause I
funding.
was like,
It's
Ron,
Medicaid
I don't know
funding.
about Ron.
Ron DeSantis
Medicaid
in Florida,
funding-
that's a
Medicaid
Republican?
funding that came from the Biden administration.
Really? Where?
Okay, the
Authorized-
Medicaid funding,
authorized through
look
what?
it up. It came from the Biden administration.
Authorized through
And
what?
so the point I'm making is and these funds, and this through part of CHIP, okay? And so that's
What?
when, yes, sir. Yes.
Amber's looking
So when all that funding came in, so where the money came from? Did it just came out of these people's pockets?
That's not accurate.
It is accurate.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because
Well,
So-
go back to my original.
I want to ask for clarification.
Go
really
back to my
quickly.
original question he
Okay.
asked me. So the deal is the fact that it went so far left in its social initiative with the trans and other things that I don't personally support. I don't care how you live your life. Leave our children alone.
I don't think they're attacking children when it comes to allowing people to have their lives be lived the right way. I believe that everyone should be able to have the right access to mental health care. I think regardless, like you're saying, regardless of who's in your bedroom at night, you should be able to have the same rights as, but I don't think, I think it's astonishing that made you switch a whole demographic.
That's one of the things.
True, I did ask for one big ticket item, but that was a big ticket item.
Let's let Isiah in here.
Go for it.
Yeah, I just want to say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm looking at this.
I hear this all the time about this idea that the Democratic Party went too far left.
It did.
But nobody can ever point to a specific thing
I told you.
that's associated with. That's
told
not
you.
accurate.
That is accurate.
That's why
That's
I know
your
that's
opinion.
not. No,
It is
you know why I
accurate.
know that's not accurate.
Why it's not accurate?
Because those federal funds for CHIP cannot be given out without the direct authorization of the state.
That's not
It
true.
is the state of Florida. Excuse
No,
me.
that's not
Wait a
true.
second. Excuse me.
Every
No,
state is different. No, that's not true. You're inaccurate.
Excuse
No,
me.
you're inaccurate.
I'm trying to answer.
No. But no. See, that's what I'm saying. Facts versus rhetoric.
I'm trying to give you the facts.
No, that's rhetoric. That's not true.
It's not rhetoric.
That's not
because
true,
the truth
sir.
is
That's not
that
true. You're making
it is
stuff up.
Ron
I'm looking at
DeSantis'.
the Medicaid ban pertaining to
Go
that
ahead.
topic.
Go ahead. What you got to say, man?
It is Ron DeSantis' Department of Health in Florida that authorizes where these CHIP funds can go. There's nothing that the Biden can do to
not
author.
control how that goes.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
That is every individual
the state
state.
legislator can control whatever. Not this, but the state, the federal funding, the money's given to Medicaid. You know what I'm saying? From the federal government, give it to each individual state.
That's right.
Each provider can bill based on whatever the situation. They do not deny claims during the Biden years. They did not deny claims if somebody wanted to do a sex change. Would do if that's through medication, through the hormonal medication, all the way to the physical change.
The state
That is
doesn't have to
100%.
accept it.
Say it again.
The state doesn't have to accept
What
it.
you mean? That's up to them. But guess what? Most states have.
So you're talking about Florida, a red
Again,
state that is literally ran by Ron DeSantis' Florida.
Again,
That's
these
the
are
truth.
Medicaid.
That's the
He do
You're
not
talking
approve
about
each
Mr.
one.
Culture Warrior himself,
whatever.
Ron
See, back to this
DeSantis,
rhetoric.
the one who
See,
literally ran a whole
you can do
campaign
that to Carmen. You're not
against
gonna
the
play that with
woke.
me, brother,
I'm being
tonight.
serious.
No, that's rhetoric. That is not true.
This is about the
Again,
truth.
No, that's not true. In the state of Florida, there's funding in the state of Florida, in all states, okay? And during the Biden years, that children can take medication for change, sex change, all the way to a full change. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. And that's what made me to leave. What made me to
But I
leave, walk
believe,
away
didn't
from this
he
party.
let that be a decision for the state to make that decision, not on the federal level? Am I missing?
Medicaid gonna pay Medicaid regardless. There's no one size fit all. Chip. The way how Chip goes. Each state don't pick and choose how Chip is administered based on how claims are paid to the providers.
Okay.
If it's part of the if it's coded to be paid, it's gonna be paid.
That is absolutely not
It's no
true.
cherry picking. No,
It
that's
is
incorrect.
absolutely
So
not
what
true.
is
Incorrect.
so we
Go
heard.
ahead.
So what would be the correct term for that? Because I'm saving
It's
battery over
coding.
here.
It's coding.
Because
The
I was
point
looking at
is-
DOD.
The point is that is not happening. What
states
you're
can't pick and
saying
choose
is
what's
not.
coded, man.
That is absolutely what
States
they
do
do.
not pick
But
and
But
choose.
here's
States
didn't
cannot
our
pick and
governor
choose.
choose?
here's what I'm gonna just say.
You can pick how you want to do Medicaid
Here-
expansion, but you don't pick and choose how medical bills
you know
are
what?
coded.
Let's just go
You
here.
say that ready for someone else, man.
I'm just gonna give it to you direct.
I'm
I'm a
giving it to you
straight
direct,
shooter,
too.
right?
Yeah.
When it comes to this issue, you want my honest opinion? I don't care. I don't care how a parent decides to raise their kid.
I got
You
a
know
problem
why?
with that.
You know why?
Why?
It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck.
Or do you have a child?
You know why?
I
Do you have a child?
I do.
What
I
does
do.
that have to do with
I'm
you?
I'm a parent, okay?
Yeah, so am I.
When you, I'm telling you, this is when it comes down to.
That's you and your
when
kid.
you get older.
Thank
when you
you.
get older, no. So let me say it this way: as a parent, when you get older, and when you have a child, life is going to
Wow.
change. And I'm gonna say
Y'all,
this loud and clear.
you're seeing
life
a-
is going to change.
you're
No, I'm not
seeing
giving
a-
up. Life
see-
is going to change.
As
And
a
life,
mother,
life,
Wow.
you know, life is going to change. And I know it changed. It's changed.
this is absurd. This is absurd.
Listen to what I have to
This
say.
is absurd.
Listen
This is
to.
absurd.
No, it's
This
not
is
policing.
You know what? You know what? You know
it's
what?
not policing.
I got to be able to say something for more than
No,
a
no,
minute.
I'm gonna say
right?
this.
I got to be.
I'm
I got
gonna
to
say
say
this.
something because
You have to, when you become a parent, life changes because life is not about you anymore. It's about those who you love. It's about your legacy.
That's right.
And you want to make sure the fact that your child can live a life where they continue your legacy. Let me finish, please. Allow me to finish, please.
But
to allow to live your legacy. Allow your legacy. No, you may not disagree.
A little bit. Go ahead.
Legacy to wherever you want to do. No, because you use the dominate stuff. You're not going to dominate me today, brother. And to actually do what it takes to make sure your child have a life to live and live in the abundance of the pursuit of joy and the pursuit of happiness.
But
but can I
doing that as a parent, a lot of that in that dialogue you just said was how I provide for my child.
Yeah, and
that does not affect an outside child of
right.
how you raise your
child.
But my child got to.
But wait a second.
If my child got to go to school
and
be exposed, if my child go to school be exposed to a book that tells me about drag queens, and I got to explain to my 6-year-old child. If I got to change my 6-year-old child, is like, Daddy, can I just switch up and be a giraffe tomorrow or be whatever?
So you're only going to support your child and go by the demographic of what you want.
I gotta get to
this. Because it sounds
this.
like you're controlling and molding a child and not raising that child.
Again,
let's let Justin.
You answered your own question.
Yeah.
I answered my question well.
You said what you're concerned about with your child.
Yeah.
Your
in my community.
Child.
In my community.
Now that's a vastly different.
No,
wait a second. Why are you interrupting me?
But you saying stuff that doesn't
You
make
are
sense.
interrupting me.
Go ahead, your chance.
I didn't say anything.
Say what you got to say.
Thank you.
You talked about your child. You said, Isiah, the reason why you can't understand this is because you're eventually going to have a child one day, and then you're going to want what's best for your kid.
Of course.
You don't parent these people. You don't. These are not your kids. I'm talking about you specifically. You are concerned with the way someone else decides to raise their kid, and that has nothing to do with you.
So you saying that we, as a government,
what I'm telling you
every single day?
is to mind your business. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this has become the biggest linchpin issue for the Republican Party. And you know where that has gotten us? You know what? The economy is in ruins. That's what I care more about. I care more about the fact that those bozo policies that this moron president went and passed has raised inflation, crushed jobs. That's what people.
It's all about rhetoric.
You guys never learn.
We focus on the subject matter.
Republicans never learn.
Again, focus on the subject matter.
They never learn. No, the Republican. Look, you can say that all you want, but the real life is what it is. The reality is that you care more about this issue in terms of the Republican Party as a whole.
The original question was the reason why I left the party. That's why I left the party.
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second.
Take the rhetoric, focus on the question.
This is the reason why you left the party, right?
Yeah.
You care more about this than the fact that our debt.
I will say,
I said the top issue.
It is a top issue.
It's
but
a top issue. And there's several other, but that's one. There's several others. One. So again, that's.
However,
I know you're trying to get.
Not
I'm gonna say this
as far as the inflation, because that's not a
I know you want to do your sound bites for TikTok, and I respect that. But let me say this clear.
Why is it going back to TikTok?
I'm gonna say this clear.
Well,
I'm gonna say this clear, and I say this respectfully.
After the disrespect,
and I say this to our community. You know, and you made a statement about raising my child, and you taking that responsibility. But what are we going to do to help our children to create the systematic crimes in our own communities right now, who cut up in schools right now?
What does that have to do with the Democratic Party?
As a congressman, what is your solution?
What does that have to do with why you left the Democratic Party?
You were talking about parental. You were talking about being because I've been a parent. You never been a parent. I've been a parent. You've been a parent. I'm asking him this question. He's running for Congress. I'm asking you this question to you. My question to you: what is your plan to reduce the systematic crime in our communities where we have young black boys?
That's right.
Who create so much doggone crime right now. So what is your plan?
I would say
he running for Congress.
I love this question. You know why?
Yeah.
I want to go and put back the funding that the stupid Republicans took out that was literally there for put trades inside of schools. You can call it rhetoric all you want, but you know what is the truth? When we have a district, when we have an 18th congressional district, where literally only 40% of the people that graduate from high school go to full-time employment college or the military, that means that we got to go and get people skills. We have one of the highest Gen Z unemployment rates in the history of this country. And the problem is that you guys took the money out. Yes, the Republican Party, they took it out. You know what? Not only did they go and take this out when Donald Trump was president, but they also, Republicans have been running this state for 30 straight years.
I'm gonna tell you
and
something.
they still have taken. So you want to know my plan? I want to give you my plan. I want to give you. I want to give you my plan. I'm trying to give you my plan.
Go ahead.
My plan.
Give me the plan.
I'm going to co-sponsor the Jobs Act from Senator Tim Kaine to allow for Pell Grants, not just to be used at college and university, but also to go and train people for energy production, for welding, and other things like that. I support tuition-free community colleges so people can go train themselves for the jobs of tomorrow. I believe and support investment tax credits to go create additional developments right here in the district. For example, the high velocity development that was literally there to go do hydrogen hub production. I support those efforts. And you know who is against every single one of the things I mentioned? The Republican Party. And you know what? You can call it a boogeyman all you want. But the reality is that they take money out. They take investment out. And it's us that's trying to fix it. You can try to say that's rhetoric all you want, but the Republicans are the ones that defunding it. Now tell me the plan that the Republicans have done to make anything better in this life.
What I'm going to do is, number one, is if you have a Title I district, and if you know what Title I is when your school or your district has free and reduced lunch with more than 51% of students. So what I'm going to do, each of my school districts, if it's Conroe ISD, South Fair, Magnolia ISD, Katy, and Tomball, what I'm going to do is actually incorporate RTC starting at 4th grade.
How are you going to do it?
Funding.
How are you going to do it?
Funding. We already have RTC already in our high schools.
Yes.
So how are you going to do it?
And we're going to, let me finish, please. We're going to bring it all the way to
ROTC?
Yeah, RTC. Yeah, and we're going to bring the JRTC program all the way down to starting 4th grade.
How are you going to do it?
And let me finish, please. I'm getting to that. Allow me to speak, please. And by that, that's going to give an opportunity where we teach life skills. We teach discipline. And
JROTC,
yes,
at 4th grade.
School to prison prop line, school to the military.
Military,
pipeline.
and it's not military.
So
yes,
but see, and here's why I disagree.
That makes perfect sense. I love that plan.
And let me finish, please. And also to what it does, even you don't decide to go to the military whatsoever. And at 6th grade, you go to the training, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you start getting a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? You get enlisted.
Where's the money
coming from the United States.
You want to enlist people in 8th grade?
Yes, sir. Why not? We're going to teach you discipline.
How can one consent to go to the military in 8th grade?
JRTC, because I was in RTC. Here's a little fun fact for you, Durrel. I was in RTC. I was #1 outstanding cadet in the state of Texas. Outstanding platoon. I can talk my stuff. I could never fathom.
Oh, his mic?
Mine?
Yeah, that one usually goes out a little bit.
I'm gonna go. So as she fixed her mic, so the purpose of this program is gives opportunities, life skills to these kids, and also to provide opportunity, income, training and development. And where's the fact that we can be able to give that child the opportunity, like Isiah said, if they want to go to a 4-year college, community college, 2-year trade school.
Their frontal lobe isn't even developed at this point. We're shipping them off toward their frontal lobe. It's not even developed.
Well, and also, I will say, here's what I really disagree with when we start to other children.
Yes.
When we start to say, you are at a Title I school. You're on free or reduced lunch. So you don't get to go to recess. You don't get to be a child. You get to go to JROTC so we can go ahead and get you lined up so that you can go directly into the military, so that you can put your heart on the line.
Skills. You're taking a point
No.
But
You literally said, hold on. And
maybe I got it wrong.
I'm trying to think of the life skills that I learned in RTC besides living on the land if I'm stuck in the terrain somewhere with my MRE and my pack. Outside of that, I don't know any other life skills.
You didn't learn about discipline. It's no different
from. To
from.
be fair, I was an athlete. My father was an athlete. So I learned this in a different way. I learned discipline from all
You can't drive. You can't get your driver's license.
You can't even go to a high school football game.
So if you're in JRTC program, it teaches you life skills. It teaches you organization. It teaches you discipline. It teaches
I was a part of ROTC as well, JROTC.
Yeah, so I bring that up.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I just think, first of all, if we really peel back the layers and look at why a lot of people enlist, right? Less than 1% of the people actual serve. I used to work for an organization called Service Year. So some people serve in the military and other people serve. There's the Corporation for Community and National Service, CNCS, that has been cut, right, drastically under both, Trump administrations. So it's like, are you telling, are we preparing people to only have that option?
No, it's an opportunity because there's so many programs. But let me say this.
Let me hop in. Let me hop in.
Go ahead.
The reason why I say, are we preparing people only for this? Because what is the alternative? What is the other additional layer, right? Because if JROTC in the 4th grade is an option, right, and you're going to put more funding into it, what's the other thing?
There's options already. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. There's so many. Title I schools get so much funding and opportunities in many school districts across our nation, especially in the state of Texas. Yes, sir. Wow. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They get a lot of funding.
Do. Folks? What they don't? Okay, back to victimhood. Okay, back to victimhood. Back to victimhood.
If it's a fact,
Jesus Christ, man. Oh my Lord, man.
I'm gonna say this. You want to go to Yates and tell them they have too much funding?
Yates wording is part of Houston Independent School District. Well, make myself clear. They're not some charter school that's channeled for some planet.
You want to tell them they've got too much funding?
Again. Wow.
I mean,
that would be news to them,
man.
Because I don't know when they seeing it. Maybe
again, I'm gonna say this clear. You come all the way to work to answer your question earlier. Again, every child is given an opportunity to do whatever they want to do.
Platitude.
When it come out for its opportunity, if they want to go in UIL sports, if they want to go into anything straight academia, or they have the ROTC program. It is an opportunity to give our children an opportunity to experience the American dream. And not to be, let me finish, please. Again, we focus on, let's take the emotions and rhetoric.
What do you call it?
Let's take the emotions and rhetoric. Again, you can disagree all day long, Isiah. But the point that I'm making, man, is the fact that we have to give our children an opportunity to succeed. The more opportunity and outlets they have a better chance to have the American dream. That's all I'm saying, man.
I will say,
yes.
and I make fun of people. I make fun of Kamala all the time. And Kamala's been doing these
interviews. Man, stop hating on Kamala.
Well, no, because you've been giving me Kamala. Let me tell you what you just said. We must give the opportunities for our children to succeed because success is an opportunity for the children. Wait. Let me finish.
I ain't say
I was doing.
I know.
But no, I think at the end of the day, I will say, like some of the ideas, like I can't wrap my head around. Like even if you look at where JROTC is prominent, where it is really pushed, when you look at who the military, and for those that have served,
poor whites and Hispanics,
absolutely. But they go to certain places, right? And I just couldn't imagine. I remember being in 4th grade. I was 9 years old, right? Yeah. I couldn't imagine being in JROTC. Like I couldn't imagine that being like,
man, one of the solutions. But you imagine what 4th graders are doing right now after school? You don't even want to know. I talk to teachers and educators.
They're doing heroin.
They're doing some stuff that you don't want to do, man. Yeah, I mean, it's there's some stuff, and again we have to.
They're doing JROTC. They're enlisted in the military.
Well, I mean, the problem, the issue is that we have to parent, we have to help parents, and that's the issue. I mean, you or your parent,
No,
you're not a parent. No, and it's hard to understand when you haven't parent or coach kids or teach kids in their education and realize that parents don't sometimes know how to parent. And
well, I didn't have to be the parent to know that. There's a lot of people. But we have to. But we have to help on a daily basis.
But we have to help
and be like,
and it's, yeah. And this is where I may differ from party on this. But it is our responsibility to do what we need to do to give our community an opportunity for success. You call me what you want to call it. I'm an elected official. I serve.
No,
see, only body in this room that's serving is me.
No,
but I serve.
Other people serve too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nobody who's currently serving. So what I'm saying is the fact that we have to. Mm-hmm. And this is our core responsibility. So again, you can find 1,000 reasons to say, oh, that's not a good idea. But damn it, let's step out on faith and take the risk. Let's put it out there. Let's give these children an opportunity to experience what America has and a commitment to service and the benefits of serving armed forces. You get a no down payment home. You get health care. You get a GI Bill
in the 8th grade.
all kind of everything.
I don't know why
get a list.
I mean,
you get
child labor law screaming.
You
in
can
my
like,
ear right
oh
now.
my
I mean,
gosh,
it's
we're
an
gonna
extracurricular
start them
activity. Come on,
early.
y'all can
I
find
mean, I
1,000.
Early.
You know,
I understand
and
because I've been in it.
and you've
You're
been in
talking to
it.
a person who did
Yeah,
sports and did
but
it all,
yeah,
so-
but I'm sorry.
I was in ROTC too.
Yeah,
I made
but
it to sergeant.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do
I'm in
PE.
the fourth grade.
I didn't want to do PE. They were like, you could either do PE or you can see I was in the band at the same time too. I was
you
in the
play,
marching
man? What
band.
you play, man?
Marching band. I played trumpet. Jazz
You blow
band.
that
I
damn trumpet,
played,
man? Oh, damn, you play all
saxophone.
different. Oh, shit.
But
Yeah.
but they wouldn't give me credit. They were like, no, that's an after school program.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, they wouldn't let me do it. So I did ROTC. So I know that. And another thing,
Talk to me.
right out of high school, my very first job was working for the prison system.
Hey,
Yes. So I
How
came
was that
from a
life?
single well, you know, it was what it was. It was 5 years. I left as a lieutenant. I will say this. Because of the socioeconomic position that my family was in, I had limited options, right? Now, what I will say, they were selling this student loan thing, like counselors. I'm 39. So this is like
Yeah.
in the 90s, the 2000s. It was like, go to school, get your degree, get you a job at Shell or ConocoPhillips.
good
or
job.
something,
Get that good
work
job.
for 20 years.
Get
You
that
have
good
a
job.
pension. Well, all of those things are gone, right?
100%.
And so, you know, I was really curious to hear like what some of your ideas would be around that.
let's talk about that.
Because
Yeah.
and whether you are just a member of the Republican Party
Yeah.
or running as a Republican candidate, believe it or not, you know, and I don't know,
We
growing
gotta focus
up,
on D's and R's. We focus so much on that.
you do.
Yeah.
You have to, and here's why. Because when I was growing up, if Granny left all of us at the house, right, and her vase got broken, when she came back, I couldn't say, "Oh no, it wasn't me."
You didn't snitch?
I was watching Rugrats on Nickelodeon in your bedroom.
snitch.
No, everybody's getting it. Not snitching. No, you don't have to snitch. Everybody's getting it. So you get it too. So you are, believe it or not, here's the thing. If you claim Republican,
Again.
you have to rep your set. You have to rep your set.
No. Let me explain. I'm an elected official, not a political pundit or a political cheerleader. I represent everybody. Okay, I am running as a Republican ticket. I represent all. Isiah will win the 18th congressional district. I will represent whatever district I decide to fall in. I'm going to support this brother as everything I can in my power. I said it early, not because he has a D behind his name or just because I've already behind his name. We have to be political mature and we have to be political competent. And so to go back to your original question, everybody is not fit for 4-year college. Okay. Everybody fit not a 2-year college. But we have had programs for the last 15, 20 years that have given opportunity for CNAs to welders to pipe fitters, all different type of blue collar opportunities. But you got to understand our economy is changing now. We have gotten more into artificial intelligence, into medical coding, as I talked about earlier. We have to pivot. And we have to make sure we pivot towards more technology based, okay? And we have to, as government, we need to work with our subject matter experts in our school systems and as well as our partners in our businesses. I run a business to make sure there is an alignment.
I want to talk about that too.
Oh Lord,
I want to talk about that.
Talk to me.
So you own
Yes, I own a mortgage company. Yep.
You own a mortgage company. How did you get into that?
Man, I did this in college, man. 1996, man. I was given an opportunity to work at a small mortgage company, and man, it was the best opportunity of my life. And what drove me to it, and you were talking about earlier, and start seeing people, our black folks, were denied the opportunity you were saying earlier, to get a home mortgage, had great credit, had funds to close, but just because they were buying in a certain neighborhood that they didn't want to be, they declined them. Thank goodness, 30 years later, we're in a different situation. And trust me, it still goes on today systematically. I would say gumbo lending, we lend to all. We take care of It does
That's
systematically.
interesting.
It does
I thought she was
systematically.
asking about
It says systematically, but I'm as Gumbo Lending, they could come to me. I'm not going to deny you just because of where you want to live. Only way I deny you if you don't have the ability to repay or you don't have sufficient funds to close. It's based on written policy.
There we go. Well,
Yeah.
this has been a pleasure. Thank you, Isiah, for bumping up my. Listen, this is the most heat my TikTok has had. The algorithm is cleaned out now. It's going to be rotating. Any last words for the people?
You know, I had a lot of fun. Seriously,
Yeah, it was fun.
I like to do this. Like I said, no disrespect.
Oh man, you my man.
But you know, personally, the whole reason why I decided to run for Congress was because I felt that the Republican Party was set to destroy the United States of America. And I looked at the trajectory that we were on, and I asked myself, I don't think these son of a bitches want to have elections anymore. I seriously don't think so. And I saw what was happening to our economy. I saw more and more people get left out. And I think personally, at least I can talk for CD18 as a candidate for that. I'm focused on beating these son of a bitches. Seriously. I'm focused on winning. Because I think that what's happening in our party is that people are feeling disaffected. They feel as if government does not work for them. They feel as if we can go and protest on the street corner as much as we want, but ultimately it doesn't happen. And I think if we really want to get back to the point where, like it was in the 30s when we had 60 Senate seats, when Roosevelt was slinging Republicans left and right, if we want to get to the point where we can talk about passing guaranteed health care, guaranteed child care, all of these things, we've got to, number one, ramp up our communication structure. We've got to be communicating to people more effectively. Number two, we have to stand for something. We cannot just be the anti-Donald Trump party. We've got to be the pro-America party in terms of what we're going to do. So I always talk about guaranteeing health care, guaranteeing child care, wiping out medical debt, guaranteeing access to community college, and then making sure that we can bring these grant funding to create more jobs than ever before. That's how I believe we can really go and bring people into where we're going and be relentless in doing so. So, look, I look forward to the next 35 days of this campaign. It is crazy, 35 days. You know, a lot of the folks that started this race at the top are going down and we're going up. And I'm excited about that premise to be able to go and communicate to the people of the district. And so I just want to thank you so much for having me here today. Amber, of course, and my friend, thank you as well. I had a great time. And if anybody wants to go and find me, they can, IsiahMartin.org, Isiah R. Martin on all my socials.
There you go. Well, congratulations. I mean, you're really showing yourself to be a formidable opponent. And, yeah, good luck.
Appreciate that.
Man, I just want to say, D, thank you so much. Amber, appreciate you. Isiah, much love to you. You know, I've been in this race since February and knocked a lot of doors, met a lot of people.
Oh, so you're running in the existing CD9.
CD9. Yes.
Yes. See, now that changes everything.
Yes.
Because I thought you were running in the new CD9.
Yeah, I was on the existing.
Because that would make more sense.
Yes.
But continue.
Yes. And so, and as we progress and what's going to happen the next few weeks, I will be moving on to another district. I'll be between the 8th or the 29th.
Let's see, 29 is north.
29th, North Houston, north of 610, 290 to 59.
West. Okay. West.
In that V. And then, of course, you have the 8th district is where I live at, on the 8th district, which is half of 45, west of 45 in Montgomery County, west part of Harris, and as well as all of Waller. And a little split, a little couple neighborhoods in Walker County.
Those police up there in Waller.
Yeah, man. They about that law over there, man.
They got Ron Reynolds and they got Isiah Carey.
You got to be about that life over there. Nobody want that smoke. But
man, you get pulled over up there, you are
cooked.
Nah, you're going to be all right.
Yeah,
you be all right. You be all right. You be all right. You be all right. And as concurred to what Isiah said, our opportunities to serve the people. When I decided to run, it was an opportunity to let's bring common sense back to government. Let's bring people to work together. We shouldn't have this right now, this shut down our government. We have to bring the true 435 members of Congress that's not willing to focus on rhetoric, that's focused on doing what's best for America, all of America. Oh, no problem. No problem.
Y'all are probably wondering.
Who in the heck? Who is talking? Yeah, who is talking? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, who is talking? Yeah.
Hey, hot girl,
How you doing? See the lady here. Yes. And and it's an opportunity to serve. And as being elected official, it gave me an opportunity to know that you can't say, hey, I'm gonna go beat up all the Democrats because they my brothers and sisters too. I'm gonna beat up the independents. They my brothers and sisters too. I'm gonna turn around and just do everything what the Republicans gonna do, because guess what? There's gonna be many things we agree to disagree. If you're married, you have a relationship on your job with anybody, you're not always gonna agree 100% of everything. There's always gonna be some level of disagreement, but there's always rooms for improvement. Again, my name is Deddrick Wilmer. Go to wilmerforcongress.com, support us, donate to us, and we definitely gonna make America the opportunity.
I thought you was about to say great again. I was going to snatch the back away.
I did too. I ain't about that life.
I thought he was about to do
that life.
I thought he was about to do it.
That's why I tease you. That's why I tease you. I was going to tease you. But no.
This has got to be rage debate, right?
Oh, my God.
And I say this, again, we got to focus on one community, one district, one state, one nation. We got to unify together. Yeah.
All right, folks, this has been Live from the Black House. Thank you to both of our guests. And I want to make Amber a co-host. Y'all put in the comments, we got to figure out a way. I mean, she just has the chemistry. She, similar to Isiah, like she's like really smooth on like replying and stuff like that. Thank you to everybody on Facebook. Thank you to Tara, to Kelly, to Bobby, to, let's see, man, y'all were on it. Travis McGee, Lachelle Scott. All of y'all, thank you so much. We're going to continue to do this thing because guess what? When we have these conversations, when you hear directly from the people that are trying to represent you, directly from the people that are connected to a lot of these issues, you can make better decisions. And with that, thank you and good night.
The Durrel K. Douglas Show podcast has been brought to you by the Durrel K. Douglas Turo Fleet. Find your drive. Skip the rental counter. Look us up at www.turo.com.